Welcome, everyone, to the Howell Football Pre-Game Show. We're glad to be joined today by Coach Shinaki and several of our offensive linemen. The Howell Football Pre-Game Show is actually sponsored by Jeff Ehrhardt, State Farm Insurance Agent. We're excited to have him sponsoring this program that's been taking place this fall. So excited to have these guys on today. Coach Shinaki, offensive lineman, how are we doing today?
Good, pretty good.
So this week, week 9, we made it through the first 8 weeks, getting ready to take on week 9 here. Successful season so far, sitting at 6-1 right now, getting ready to take on a very talented Rock Bridge program that's had a lot of success, and this year is 5-2. Coach Shinaki, talk a little bit about what we can expect to see from Rock Bridge tonight, and really what kind of the keys to success that it's going to take for us to have a good game tonight.
Yeah, here's the thing. Rockbridge is it's a well-coached, disciplined football team. Definitely a hard-nosed football team. They don't make too many mistakes. Part of the reason I invited these offensive linemen into the show today is because I really, truly feel like if we can take care of business, both on the offensive line and defensive line in the trenches, then we should be just fine tonight. These guys have done a tremendous job of really opening up our run game this year and allowing Dane to make his way to the second level, and really not just Dane, all of our running backs that get in there. These guys get those guys. They take care of the immediate, the front level, the box, and we've been pretty well at getting to the second and third level with our running back. So if we can do that tonight, I think the game will be in our favor.
So, yeah, I think you touched on a great point. I think the offense this year has definitely had a balanced attack. And I know, playing the offensive line, it's one of those positions where there's not a stat line. When you look and look at a game summary, you see the pipes to Hetzel or you see Dane Mormon, 50-yard touchdown run. So as a lineman, guys, talk a little bit about what do you guys take pride in? Because a lot of times you guys are doing the work that maybe not a lot of people are noticing on the field, but you're making a lot of what people see in the highlights and things like that happen. So talk a little bit about what you take pride in as a lineman and kind of what you focus on, because a lot of times, you're not going to see your name in the paper. You're not going to see, your name mentioned in the stats.
Can we go first? Yeah. All right. Well, it just makes me happy knowing that I'm part of a bigger thing. Like, I see it as less of me wanting to see my name, but seeing our team as a whole, because we're a cohesive unit. So just feeling that I'm a part of that is enough for me. I don't have to be the star of the spotlight.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I use my stats kind of like the scoreboard, because the offense is doing good and we're kind of doing good as a whole. And every touchdown that Dane gets, every yard that he gets, I feel like I'm kind of a part of that, even though they're not my stats, like personally.
When you're blocking on the O-line, whatever they call a play, if you know the running back's coming off of you, you got to get a good block. And when Dane or whoever the running back is breaks through, and they get a good run, you helped with that. So yeah.
I think we all know we don't need that one. We're playing as a unit. Our success, we set their success, and we're a team that we're going to work together. So.
Yeah, and I think you guys touched on a little bit. I mean, you look at our offense last year or this year, and it's really had, been able to rack up a lot of yards through the air. And also, Dane Mormon's had a successful season as well, almost 1,000-yard rushing. So maybe talk a little bit about, I think it's always exciting to see, when those guys are getting touchdowns, you guys running down, congratulating them. Talk a little bit about the relationship that you guys have with some of the skill position guys.
I mean, I love the skill guys. They're some of the coolest dudes on the team, apart from the big hogs on the O-line. But I just love celebrating with Dane or some of the wide receivers after getting a touchdown, because like I said before, we're all part of the big picture. So celebrating with them is always really important. And, I think it just strengthens the bond between all the teammates.
Yeah, what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coaches do a really good job of making us a team. Yeah, everyone from the O-line to the backers to the defense, just the whole team. We're all one unit, and yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things is, from someone looking in from outside the program and just watching things, I think that's one of the things that's, impressive to me is if you watch the program and at games on the sidelines, things like that. I mean, there is that excitement. It doesn't matter who's having success out there on the field. You can really tell that this group's close, really rooting for each other. And at the end of the day, really wants to see the program be successful and, reach those team goals. And I know have set out for since back in early July. But other things I wanted to kind of touch on a little bit too. I mean, 20 crazy. We've had a COVID situation. I think back in June, I think probably a lot of us questioned whether we were going to have a season. What was it going to look like? In July 1, we get started up in our programs here at Howell, and things are going, and we have some programs that have already fall programs that have wrapped up their season already. And talk a little bit about what this 2020 season has been like for you guys. I mean, the program for sure is having success, ranked at the state level, 6-1, getting ready to head into week 10 here soon in the playoffs. Talk a little bit about what your experience has been like this year, and Coach Shinaki, we can kind of start with you.
Yeah, Sean, I'll go back to your last question about these guys, working for the betterment of the team and how they're really not about the glory. They're really, I can tell you now, these guys are trying to look all skinny and try to hide some of this offensive line, this fat man Wade on camera as they were getting ready to prep. Like, these guys don't want anything to do with glory or stats or reading in a newspaper. They're just all about that grunt work. And if they continue to do that, I think week 10, 11, 12, and beyond are going to work out for us. If these guys continue to have that hard hat mentality, just that blue collar mentality out of practice, and being a former offensive lineman, obviously, I think it all starts up front. If we can take care of business up front, the sky's the limit for this team, especially how balanced we are offensively. We have some great athletes out there on the perimeter. And then 5 guys working together up front, making things happen. I think it can be a pretty successful
Yeah, guys, talk a little
bit. Go ahead.
Been like this year with the 2020 season, and just kind of not knowing what things would look like week to week, and how excited are you to be here week 9 and getting ready to start up the playoffs next week?
Yeah, here we are. There's a lot of teams that don't have this privilege of being out here playing and competing, and our guys have done a great job with the mandates of the mask at practice and the social distancing in the classroom when we go in there for film. Our guys are 6 feet apart and making sure that we're doing everything we can to get a full season in, and if we continue to do that, we'll be in good shape.
Guys, what's your thoughts on the 2020 season so far?
I mean, dealing with all the COVID stuff, it's kind of annoying. Wearing all the masks and distancing, and sometimes the team you're going to play doesn't play, so they got a COVID outbreak, and you got to switch your schedule around. So that's annoying, but it's just an adjustment. And at the end of the day, it's still the same game. We're still doing the same things, and it really just makes you feel like at the start of the season, I didn't know if I was going to play or not, and that was a feeling I was really used to. And you just take the game for granted sometimes. And I'm just really happy that we can continue to play and continue to represent Howell.
Anybody else?
I'm really just glad we're playing at all, because there was a pretty good chance out there, back in the summer where none of us really knew whether we'd even have any part of the season. But all those regulations with the mask and the social distancing, I don't mind dealing with it because it could be way worse. We could just not have a season at all. But I'm so grateful that we actually get to play that, it's pretty easy following those regulations, knowing what we got to do.
Yeah, I definitely think just, across all of our programs this fall, just the attention to detail on some of those things has been important. And I think all of our programs have done a great job. And I think that's why we're in the position that we are currently and, still being able to play and do those types of things. So definitely excited for our fall season to get rolling here across multiple sports into the postseason. Definitely excited about tonight's game. Hopefully get a win here against Rock Bridge and looking forward to see who our opponent is in week 10 next week. And hopefully we're hosting another home game and ready for a nice postseason run. So definitely want to thank Coach Shinaki and our offensive linemen tonight. Good luck tonight, and let's bring home another win.